All right, thank you guys. Welcome to our NBA video here today for Tuesday, March 2nd. And if you're new here, I just want to take a quick time out and welcome you to my channel. My name is Brock Page, and I do sports picks for free right here on YouTube. And if you end up liking what you see here today, please feel free to hit that subscribe button and join the Brock Page family. I'd love to have you. With that, guys, we're going to dive into our first matchup here for the video. I'm talking about the Grizzlies taking on the Wizards, 7 p.m. Eastern tip-off in the nation's capital. The Grizzlies are the 1-point favorite on the road. Total's 235.5. And if you like the Wizards in the slightest of upsets on their home court, they're minus 105 on the money line. Now, we went 4-1 in our 5 premium sports picks on my Patreon website yesterday. That's going to improve our record to 7-0 in our last 7 straight extra daily picks. And access to today's extra daily pick is just $2.99 on that Patreon page. Now, the Wizards have been, they've been on one heck of a stretch here over the past 2.5 weeks or so. Having said that, though, Washington still struggles on their home court as they've won just 6 of 15 at the Capital One Arena. Now, the Wizards are in the bottom 3 defensively in points allowed, bottom 5 in defending the 3 ball. Now, Washington is giving up 122 points a night as the official home team. They're taking on a Memphis squad who just got demolished by, they didn't get demolished. They destroyed Houston a few nights ago by 49 points. The Grizzlies have also played really good on the road this year, going 8-5 straight up in those 13 road games. And they also covered the number in 62% of those very contests as well. Ja Morant scoring 18 points a game for Memphis, 3 rebounds, 7 assists for the starting point guard. Meanwhile, Jonas Valanciunas is scoring nearly 16 a night himself, along with 11 rebounds as well. The Grizzlies are in the top 5 defensively in points allowed on the road. They're also in the top 5 in road defensive rebounding. Now, total-wise, the Grizzlies are 8-5 to the over on the road this season. Washington is 5-3 to the over in their last 8 themselves. The Wizards also saw 11 out of their 15 home games get over the total in addition to all of that. So I'm going to lean toward the Memphis Grizzlies -1 in the over 235.5. Next contest, Clippers, Celtics, 7:30 p.m. Eastern start time. The LA Clippers are -4 with the total at 222.5. Now, the Clippers saw 5 out of their last 9 ball games get over the posted total, throwing out the Milwaukee contest. LA's also 10-8 to the over in their matchups on the road. They're taking on a Boston team who saw 2 out of their last 3 get over the line themselves. 5-2 to the over in their last 7. And of course, in addition to all of that, these two teams saw 7 out of their last 10 head-to-head meetings with each other get over the line as well. I'm going to go ahead and lean toward the over 222.5 in that contest. Next game, I'm talking about the Hawks versus the Heat, 7:30 p.m. Eastern tip-off in Miami. Now, the Miami Heat's -3.5, numbers 221. And despite Jimmy Butler battling a knee injury, we're still looking at a Miami squad who's won their last 6 straight, and they also successfully covered the point spread in all 6 of those contests. Now, the Heat is currently in the top 10 defensively in points allowed at home. They're also in the top 3 in home defensive field goal percentage. Now, Bam Adebayo scoring 19.5 points a game, along with 9 boards and 5.5 assists. Meanwhile, Tyler Hero is scoring over 16 points a game himself, along with 5 boards and 3 assists as well. Miami's won 10 of 17 at the American Airlines Arena this year. They're taking on an Atlanta team who's got Reddish, Bogdanovich, and Herter still listed on the injury report. Now, the Hawks are currently on a 2-game losing streak right now, and they also dropped 7 out of their last 10 ball games, certainly struggling in recent weeks here. Now, the Hawks are currently in the bottom 10 defensively in points allowed, and they also have a record of just 6-11 straight up in their road games this year. Now, total-wise, 2 out of Atlanta's last 3 contests got over the line, 80% to the over in their last 10. Meanwhile, 5 out of Miami's last 8 got over the total themselves. I'm going to go ahead and lean toward the Miami Heat -3.5 in the over 221. Next ball game It is going to be Knicks versus the Spurs, 8:30 Eastern tip. Now, the Spurs are -2 at home. Numbers 216.5. The Spurs, they got a slew of guys currently in COVID protocol right now. Weatherspoon, White, Vassell, and Rudy Gay all on the injury report. Now, the San Antonio Spurs have lost 2 out of their last 3. And they also dropped 9 of 17 on their home court. San Antonio's in the bottom 10 in home scoring, bottom 3 in home defensive rebounding. Now, they're taking on a Knicks squad who's on a 3-game winning streak themselves, playing some pretty good basketball recently, finally have a winning record. You haven't seen much of that out of New York over the past couple of seasons or so. And the Knicks also won 7 out of their last 9 as well. Now, New York currently leads the NBA defensively in points allowed and defensive field goal percentage. They're also holding their opponents to just 30% shooting from beyond the arc when they travel. Julius Randle scoring 23 points a game along with double-digit rebounds and 5.5 assists. Meanwhile, R.J. Barrett scoring 16.5 points a night himself along with 6 boards and a couple assists as well. Now, total-wise, 4 out of New York's last 6 stayed under the number, 14-4 to the under away from their home court. Meanwhile, the Spurs saw 2 out of their last 3 stay under the line themselves, 6-3 to the under in their last 9. I'm going to lean toward the underdog New York Knicks +2 and the under 216.5. Next matchup, Nuggets versus the Bucks, 9 o'clock East. The Milwaukee Bucks are -7 with a total at 235. The Bucks are on a 5-game winning streak, 14-4 straight up at the Fiserv Forum. Milwaukee leads the league in home scoring and home offensive rebounding. Giannis Antetokounmpo is scoring over 29 points a game, along with 11 boards and 5 assists. Meanwhile, Chris Middleton scoring nearly 21 a night himself, along with 6 boards and 5 assists as well. The Bucks are scoring 120 points a game on their home court. They're also making 40% of their three-pointers at the Fiserv as well. Now, they're taking on a Denver Nuggets squad who failed to cover the number in 5 out of their last 8. Now, the Nuggets are currently in the bottom 10 in defensive field goal percentage on the road. They're also in the bottom 10 in fourth quarter scoring. And speaking of the scoring in this one, Denver did see 3 out of their last 6 stay under the line. Milwaukee saw 3 out of their last 6 themselves stay under the number as well. I'm going to lean toward the Milwaukee Bucks -7 and the under 235. And with that, guys, we're going to dive into our next and final matchup for the show. It is going to be Suns versus the Lakers, 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Now, the Lakers are the 2-point favorite at the Staples Center. Totals 213.5. And if you like the Suns in an upset on the road here, they're plus $1.05 for some money line cash. Now, the Suns saw 5 out of their last 7 outings get over the total, 70% to the over in their last 10. Meanwhile, the Lakers are 10-8 to the over as the official home team. The Lakers also saw contests with Washington, Memphis, OKC, and Denver get over the posted number within the past few weeks or so as well. I'm going to lean toward the over 213.5 in that contest. And with that, guys, we're going to dive into our quick pick recap. Once again, powered to you by my Patreon website, where we went 4-1 in our 5 premium sports picks on my Patreon page yesterday. We're also currently 7-0 in our last 7 extra daily picks on that Patreon page as well. I like Memphis -1 over 235.5. I'm also leaning toward the over 222 and a hook in the Clippers Celtics game. Give me Miami -3.5 over 221. New York Knicks +2 under 216 and a hook. Milwaukee -7 under 235. Before I give you my next and final free pick for the show, one final reminder to please hit that subscribe button right now if you really enjoyed today's video. Give me the over 213.5 in the Suns-Lakers contest. Now, guys, another quick reminder here. All my content on my YouTube channel is for entertainment purposes only. I don't make any guarantees of any kind. And with that, guys, we're going to dive into some shout-outs to our top 10 YouTube commenters over the past couple of days or so. Shout out to Brandon O'Bannon, Robert Trefker, JT McGee, Dominique Hughes, Chris D. Domenico. Shout out to your boy Bert, Whose Mans Is This, Jasmine Cologne, Felix Rodeber, And last but certainly not least, gotta give a shout out to my good friend, Ronald Orr. All right, guys, that's going to do it from me. Don't forget to check me out on Patreon. Another quick reminder here, guys, if you end up getting a package on Patreon here today, just keep in mind we'll bill you the day you sign up and then the first of every month following that. But most importantly, guys, got to thank you for joining me right here on YouTube. Really hope you enjoyed all this great free content, all this great free information. And with that said, happy Tuesday to you. Best of luck to you. And I look forward to seeing you later on today on my website at patreon.com/BrockPage.